Magic products are oftentimes found on the same aisle in the grocery stores. Coffee, tea, and chocolate. Some people give a preference to one or another, but it could be that they have more in common, more than just an aisle number in a supermarket. Something beyond our taste preferences and shiny packaging designs. Let me introduce Toastmaster Eugeniu Rotari.
Good morning, Toastmasters.
Good morning.
Today, the doors of the Winter Park Toastmasters opened for the Toastmasters to come here to share stories, jokes, smiles, and maybe something else. You may not wake up easily unless you know that there is a treat waiting for you. And there was one here, or maybe not just one, or two, or three. Depends on what you like. Coffee, what do you prefer? Tea, or chocolates? I came here prepared. Therefore, I have chocolates. But besides that, I also have tea. And of course, I have coffee. Isn't that a strange combination? When I go to the grocery stores, I can find one aisle by the smell. What do you think it is?
Coffee.
That's the coffee, drinks. Some people find chocolates there. My preference is coffee. I think that coffee helps us live our stories, the stories of our lives. Even when there is no internet, people drink tea, coffee, and eat chocolates. You don't need much power, maybe a fireplace. But what is really uniting these treats? We know that coffee contains caffeine. That's easy to remember. Tea also has some caffeine. Those are different plants, different kinds. There is another interesting item. It's the chocolates. One more rainforest plant. It turns out that tea contains caffeine. For some reason, they called caffeine the main ingredient of tea. I call it C1. But in chocolate, there is a less known chemical. It's called theobromine. Why? Because the plant is actually called in Latin theobromine cacao. And I call this chemical C2. It's not as easily and conveniently called like caffeine in coffee. But I would call it chocolatin. In nature, and chemistry is pretty straightforward. When something is synthesized or chemical is born, it doesn't come alone. So caffeine and chocolatin are like chemical twin brothers. Their structure is nearly identical. A little bit different, but they also have different characters. While tea is a brighter guy, it creates spark of energy, adrenaline. Chocolate is a more reserved personality. Both of them can be found in coffee. If in tea there is not as much chocolatin as in coffee, we could measure it like that. There is more caffeine than chocolatin. In chocolates, there are more chocolatin. In coffee, there is both. So if you're looking for source of C1, chocolate, you can go directly to chocolates, but not any American chocolates. Those should be specialty chocolates brought to us, for example, by Jordan Chemical and found in the kisses, the chocolate kisses. Chocolate, coffee, tea, they all bring stories, and we all know about that. Everyone has stories from the childhood. Sometimes we take it for granted. Who might have a memory about a great coffee they ever had? DTM Carson.
When I was a kid, waking up on the boat, smelling my parents brewing coffee on Saturday morning. One of the best memories I have.
I also have a memory about my best coffee of my life. It was when I went to the Blue Ridge Highway. How many people of you have heard about the Blue Ridge Highway? It's one of the beautiful destinations on the East Coast. The night before I went there, the weather changed. I was followed by coyotes on the trail. Figured that I was the last person, and it was a very nerve-wracking experience trying to hustle to my campground. That night, the weather was changing. It was freezing at night. In a few hours, the weather changed from summer to winter. My tent was leaning down to the ground, so my neighbor really worried that I still survived the night there. And when I woke up, it was still cold, but I managed to get out of my tent, started my jet boil, brewed coffee, had a sip of that beautiful drink. And then I had a chance to look around and found that the mountains are fantastic. And I'm actually standing in the middle of the clouds racing over the Blue Ridge Mountain. The health benefits of coffee and chocolate are also not very well known, but if we make them balanced, we can manage to live happy lives. Toastmasters, I wish you to have a great evening, great weekend, and enjoy your coffee and stories that these magnificent chemicals and products bring to you. Thank you.